Yo, what is going on, guys? Johnny GB here with the Token Minorities, bringing you guys somewhat of a different deck profile, but an actually successful deck recently. So there's been this budget deck going around by can't remember the name, but it was at a regional, I believe, a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, of a budget deck that was used. Now he did end up using max rarity, so I mean it really wasn't a budget deck, but for your average player this could be a very good budget deck if you do not go max rarity. So there's no really official name to it. I've kind of just named it the budget player's dream. Has stuff like Shrine of Punishment, Tapu Koko, Latios, Tapu Lele. So it's a fun deck to play online. Now there are ways that I have changed it based on the cards that I have. So starting it off, I have both Oranguru. The original deck profile only had one Oranguru. I decided to add the draw support one. Then we get into two Tapu Lele. So the original deck did have the Psychic Tapu Lele, which is only available through the Celestial Storm pin collection. Or not Celestial Storm pin collection, the Celestial Storm blister pack. Now, I have struggled to find the blister pack, so unfortunately I have to go with two Fairy Lele. Why is a Psychic Lele important? Psywave, you're hitting Buzzwole for weakness, which is kind of nice. The Fairy one is actually really nice to hit stuff like Rayquaza for weakness. 3 energy on Rayquaza plus a Choice Band. You are looking at 60, 90, 180 damage. That is an OHKO on the Rayquaza, which is what is fantastic about this Fairy Lele. Then we got 3 copies of Tapu Koko. The original did run 4. I have 3 available to me right now. Oh, my eye. I have 3 Tapu Koko available to me right now, so it's a little unfortunate I do not have 4, but you're using it for Flying Flip. Does 20 damage to all of your opponent's bench Pokemon. There's a way that we're going to increase damage output here. Then we have Latios, the Breakthrough Latios from Shining Legends. This card is 30 damage to one of your opponent's active, and then one of your opponent's bench. So again, we're just spreading damage. We have 1 copy of Mimikyu for the attack Copycat, which works great with Counter Energy. And then we have 2 copies of Seviper. So Seviper has the attack More Poison. Put 1 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon between turns. Why is that important? Well, we are playing 4 copies of Poison Barb. So if my opponent does actually end up attacking me, and I have 2 Seviper put down on the bench, now they're receiving 4 damage counters of poison each turn, plus Tapu Koko's 20 damage, plus potentially Shrine of Punishment. That is a lot of damage racking up each turn. We have 4 copies of Acro Bike. This is to deck thin, search out cards that I need. We're playing 4 copies of Energy Loto. So this Energy Loto is to search out my energy cards, get them into my hand so that I can start going for attacks and getting that damage spread. 2 copies of Escape Rope. Original deck did play 2. I'm continuing with that 2. That is to get stuff like Oranguru or Tapu Lele or Seviper out of the active. 4 copies of Nest Ball. Everything that we are playing is basic, so Nest Ball works fantastically for us. Then we have 4 copies of PokéNav. This is a card that's starting to see a lot more play right now. Look at the top 3 cards of our deck. I can add a Pokemon or an energy card I find there and put it into my hand, and then reorder the rest of the deck, which is great because we are playing 4 copies of Professor Kukui. So we do get to add the Pokemon to our hand, reorganize the top 2 cards, play a Kukui, draw 2, do 20 more damage, plus get the 2 cards that I reorganized. We have 3 copies of Shrine of Punishment, so this is how we get more damage in between turns on other GX-based decks, which allows the damage spread to continue on very well. 4 copies of Cynthia, just as a draw supporter. 2 copies of Guzma. The original did play 1. We were playing 2 pretty much as filler for me not having the 4th Koko and Latios. 2 copies of Underground Expedition. I do want this in full art. If you guys have one, let me know. I do want to collect the Underground Expedition full art. Such a great looking card. But look at the top or bottom 4 cards of your deck. Add 2 to your hand. Put the other 2 into your on the bottom of your deck in any order. So again, it's just a great way to get cards that I need looking at 4. It is the supporter version of PokéNav. Then on the energy line, we have 4 Counter Energy, 4 double Colorless Energy, and I'm playing 2 Rainbow Energy as well. So that is the deck. We're going to hop over onto the Versus ladder, see how we can do with this deck. Because, again, this is a budget player's dream deck. At min rarity, not a lot of these cards cost a lot. Latios, being in Shining Legends, isn't a very expensive card. You also have stuff like Tapu Koko. You guys can go to your local Targets and find Tapu Koko pin collection boxes on clearance, pretty much. You can get them for 10 bucks, where you get 3 booster packs of Tapu Koko promo card in the pin. Then you also have, let's see, Mimikyu. Mimikyu also comes in a pin collection box that your guys' local Targets, Walmarts, potentially even GameStops might actually have them on clearance, which is always good to go check and see if they actually have it. We are playing, we see a couple EVs, we see the Fairy deck box. We're probably playing Sylveon or Sylveon Gardevoir. I don't doubt the Sylveon Gardevoir, yep. So, opening hand, we can just play the double PokéNav. He did not get an energy out, which is interesting. Alright, so right off the bat, we PokéNav, we grab ourselves the double Colorless, and we're just going to grab those 2 cards, put them on the top of my deck. Not much I can actually do with them. I'm going to play another copy of PokéNav as we get the Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele will be nice because with Shrine of Punishment, we can use Tapu Lele's attack Magical Swap with the Counter Energy. Magical Swap allows me to rearrange the damage counters on my opponent's Pokemon in any manner I like. As you guys see, we're going to get the Shrine of Punishment into our hand. We are going to get Seviper out. The main reason I want Seviper is because I do have a Poison Barb in my hand. Looking at my play next, we will play a 3rd copy of PokéNav. We do get a Counter Energy, which is good because I can't put this onto Lele. The thing I am worried about in this deck is it is very weak to Hammer Spam. So we're going to play our Shrine of Punishment, and we will be going through for the breakthrough. We're going to be attacking that Ralts. I want as much damage onto the Gardevoirs as I can, simply because Gardevoir has 230 HP, I believe. This deck doesn't hit for big numbers. You're doing chip damage to those Pokemon every turn. So your main goal is you want to really spread the damage out, whether it's evenly or focused. That way I can move all the damage counters into Gardevoir, knocking it out. You will find out that a lot of people will forfeit against this deck simply once they start seeing the damage spread and the Seviper with Poison Barb. There also is another deck with Seviper I want to try out relatively soon, so hopefully it does not take too long. I want to be able to get a couple games in with this. But as far as an opening turn, I have a Lele on the bench, I have my Latios out, I have a Seviper on the bench. So I'm very happy so far with this opening turn, because he's either going to pass turn or he's not going to be playing, as I'm going to get a double knockout here. One, do I need this? No. I was like, do I need to use a Kukui? And because I really don't need to pick up 2 knockouts, I am just going to save it, as we're going to get a Koko from one of the prizes. I like a Koko. And we are going to get what else? We actually just might pick up a forfeit win here. That is what it's looking like, is I'm probably just going to end up picking an activity win. But you know what? We take those, and it gives you a good idea of what, it doesn't really give, it somewhat gives you an idea of what I'm trying to do here. Unfortunately, my opponent decides that he's probably just not going to play, and I'm going to be picking up an activity win here. But I'm giving you guys a option to play either on TCGO. These are pretty easily obtainable cards, as well as IRL. You're not really breaking the budget. I wish I did a little bit more research, give you guys an idea of how much this deck actually would cost you at minimum rarity. I mean, stuff like Kukui's, Energy Lotos are cheap. Your guys' most expensive cards that you guys might end up buying will be the Shrines of Punishment and the Cynthias, I believe. Which, I mean, if you're looking at that, the Garchomp structure deck, you get 2 Cynthias in that for $10. Because I believe Cynthias are going for about $5 a piece. Let's see. Just to give you guys a good number. I don't want to give you guys the full art. Full art is a little bit pricey. Yeah, you're looking at about $5 for a Cynthia, so buying the structure deck, I guess, would not be a bad idea. We're going to play Koko onto the bench. 2 structure decks is $20. That's probably what it's going to cost you guys to get for Cynthia, and you get 2 other. You pretty much can make a Garchomp deck on your own there with those 2. We're going to attach Poison Barb onto Tapu Koko. We're just going to break through. I'm almost 100% sure that my opponent really isn't playing, but that is one option. If you're looking to build this deck IRL, Cynthia will be the most expensive card alongside Shrine of Memories. Shrine of Memories is going for about $4.50, so in all honesty, you're going to want 4 Shrine of Punishment, $20. You're going to want 4 Cynthia, $20. Everything else is going to be relatively cheap. You're looking at probably spending $60 at most for a pretty solid deck. It'll pick you up wins. Now, I'm not saying budget is the way to go, but I mean, you aren't looking to spend into buying Blacephalon or Lost March or what else came out in Ultra Prism? Lightning Box with Zeraora, Sceptile, or if you're really not looking to spend the money on 2 copies of Alola Ninetales for $100, this is a good option, especially in a GX-based format where you have Zoroark running around. I really recommend this deck. You may not be liked for it, whether you guys like being liked or whatever. I mean, that's all your guys' personal preference, simply because many people hate Shrine decks. Here we got Buzzwole, which is fantastic for me because I hit Buzzwole for weakness. So I do want to add Nest Ball into my hand to get a Pokemon onto my bench, and I do want to grab a Guzma. So the main reason I want the Guzma is so I can bring in this Poipole. The main reason I want to bring in the Poipole is so that I can Guzma it next turn. We are going to play Nest Ball. We're going to grab ourselves a Tapu Koko. I just want the Tapu Koko so that I can start filling up my bench. And we're going to play Energy Loto a couple times. Yep, there we go. So I can get the double colorless energy. And that will be the first turn. So Buzzwole can only do 30 damage to me. Unfortunately, I do not have the resistance to Psychic, or to Fighting, which is unfortunate for me. So, let's see. He's going to start making Poipoles. Is he just playing Fighting Beast Box? He might be. Which would actually be kind of interesting. So, I'll be doing 100 damage. If I get a Choice Band, I'd be doing... I might be able to pick up a KO if I get a Choice Band. Alright, so one, we're going to attach double colorless energy onto Tapu Koko. We're going to play a copy of Kukui. And then we're going to play a copy of PokéNav. That's going to get us a Seviper, which is okay, I guess. And then we get an Acro Bike and a PokéNav off my Kukui next turn. Which, you know what, I will take. As we're going to go for the breakthrough, it's going to do 100 to the Buzzwole, and we're going to start picking on these Poipole so that I cannot let him set up Naganadel GX or Naganadels. That is what I want, to avoid letting those set up. Alright, so let's see. He's going to get a second Buzzwole GX onto the field. Do I start picking on that Buzzwole? I do need to get Shrine of Punishment. That is one thing I do need. Seeing as he's probably playing Naganadel GX, With Buzzwoles, I do want to start getting Shrine of Punishment, so I can start getting damage. So Lele, I want to try to win the game with Lele. If I get as much damage onto the board, Lele can win the game. I know I'm going to claim 2 prizes here, which is nice. We're going to play our Acro Bike. We know one of them is a PokéNav, one of them is a Cynthia. I have a Cynthia in hand, so I can afford to let one go. Let's see, PokéNav, we're going to get ourselves a double Colorless Energy, I guess. And Nest Ball and Counter Energy. Not very great hand in all honesty. Because I have just a bunch of energy here that I do not want to waste. But we will play the copy of Kukui so that, one, I can knock out this Buzzwole GX. We're going to play a Nest Ball so that I can get myself a second Latios. The main reason I do want a second Latios is because he's just giantly weak to Psychic. I do pick up a KO on Poipoles. I will attach a second double Colorless Energy, and we will break through for the knockout. So, I want to start getting damage onto the Buzzwole. I know I could start damaging the Poipoles, but damage on the Buzzwoles is very nice for me, seeing as it allows me to get closer to knocking him out. You're going to see I'm going to be able to do 90 or do 60 next turn, unless I do pick up a Choice Band. Alright, so what does he do? So he played Mysterious Treasure, which means he can search out a Naganadel, add it to his hand, which I think is the direction he's going to go. Oh, he goes for the Lele. So he's going to go Lele Cynthia, potentially? So let's see. He's got Buzzwole. I'm going to do 60 damage. If I get a Choice Band, I'm doing 120, I believe. Right? Weakness, I'm doing 60. Yeah, I'm doing 120. Ooh, I kind of like that. As he attaches an energy onto Poipole, he's going to play the Lele either for a Lily or a Cynthia. So, the way I'm looking at it, I need to find a way to deal with a Naganadel, potentially. He's going to play Beast Ring, which is unfortunate for me that he had that in hand, because Buzzwole can pick up a KO here with Absorption GX, I believe. Or even just Knuckle Impact will pick up a KO, which I do not like. But, I mean, I am fortunate for this to be single prize deck. That is one thing you will enjoy about this, and your opponent will hate, is that you are playing a single prize deck, where in some instances, they will be playing a multiple prize deck. So, I'm actually going to go into Tapu Koko here so that I can start spreading some damage around. There is the Shrine of Punishment. Let us go. Alright. I will end up having to Cynthia here. I know I will lose cards in my hand, but I had a pretty dead hand in all honesty. And we got that Poison Barb, we got another Latios, and I'm going to Nest Ball for a Seviper. As well, play a Mimikyu onto the bench. We're going to Flying Flip now, so we're going to do 20 to everything on my opponent's bench. Shrine of Punishment will start taking its toll on these, and if he does hit my Tapu Koko next turn, his Buzzwole will be poisoned, and it should put my Latios in range of actually picking up a KO, because he'll take 4 damage counters from the poison, I believe. Yes, that'll put him at 100. Shrine of Punishment will put him at 110. Oh, he goes for the Ultra Space. That's unfortunate. Well, I should still be able to pick up a KO with Latios, because I do have a Kukui in hand. I still have another Shrine of Punishment, so I'm not too worried. Where I start growing a little bit of concern now is Naganadel beating me. Because you see my bench, I'm fully loaded on Psychic types. I will need a Tapu Lele to win. Because he can search out another Naganadel off of Ultra Space, I believe, unless that was his search. I should pick up a KO here on this Poipole, if he doesn't have another Naganadel in hand. Alright, so let's see. The Buzzwole will take 4 damage counters. I will be able to knock out Buzzwole GX and Poipole with Latios next turn, as he's gonna Guzma. So did he think this through? He did. So he wasn't risking it. He's going to go for the Beast Raid, which will knock out my Latios. I do have another one. I will need double Colorless Energy, which I'm a little iffy on. That's 2 into the discard or 3? That is 2 into the discard. Well, 1, we're going to Shrine of Punishment. We're going to Professor Kukui, which lets me get another Poison Barb. We do get a Counter Energy. So in case he does knock out my Poipole, or my Tapu Koko, I have a Latios set up with the Counter Energy. We're going to Flying Flip here. We're going to do 20 to everything. We do pick up a knockout on the Poipole. We do get an Energy Loto, which is nice. That'll help me to get Mimikyu. So that I could actually... Does Beast Raid help me? No, it doesn't. I can't really use Beast Raid because of me not having any Ultra Beast in play. That's unfortunate. So now he has decisions here. I do pick up a KO next turn regardless, and so does he, which sucks. Because what he can do is he can retreat his Latios, or his Naganadel. Go into Buzzwole. Buzzwole will pick up a KO. Ooh. That weakness policy actually hurts me. I need to get my Field Blower. I know I play a couple copies of Field Blower here. But if he hits me, he's going to take 4 damage counters of poison, which I like. I like that he takes 4 damage counters of poison. If he does hit me. I hit him for 30. And then, let's see, that would put him at what, 140? Nope, I don't think I get a KO. So I will have to like sack off like a Mimikyu or something. So he's going to Beast Raid. Will knock out my Tapu Koko. Does poison him. He's going to be taking 3 damage counters. We're going to get Mimikyu out here. Because I do need to save that Latios. We are going to Acro Bike. We're going to grab ourselves a Nest Ball. So the main reason I want a Nest Ball is... Do I grab Lele now? That's what I'm curious on. If I grab Tapu Lele now, or if I grab an Oranguru so I can... I'm going to grab Oranguru so I can get draw support here. We're going to play Energy Loto. We do get a double Colorless, which I like. I should have got the Counter Energy in all honesty. But now we're going to Instruct. As we draw 1, it's another Shrine of Punishment, which I guess is okay. I'm going to play the Rainbow Energy onto Mimikyu so that 1, I can just filch. I need to draw cards. I need to have some cards in hand for next turn. As Naganadel's starting to get damage done to it. I have a Kukui, an Acro Bike. So I'm all in favor for him withdrawing his Naganadel, going into Buzzwole. So he's going to play a weakness policy. That is not what I wanted to see. That weakness policy is not what I wanted to see. So now I need to find a way to get one of my Field Blowers. I have 18 cards left in deck. I play 2 Field Blowers. Do I? I don't think I actually do. So that actually is going to be... Those weakness policy are actually going to be a problem. So he's going to Cynthia. So 1, I don't have to worry about a Guzma. His Naganadel will be able to pick up a KO. Which means Counter Energy will actually work. As he max potions. No! He doesn't have any more energy. He does. That might be game. That might be game. Well, no. I can still win with Lele, I think. Because... Can I? Alright, let's put Latios out. So, he's going to be taking 4 damage. He has 4 damage counters onto it. So I need Lele and a Counter Energy. So there's the Counter Energy. Koko. Actually, let's play Koko onto the bench. Let's do a double colorless. Alright. So let's see. Acro Bike. Cynthia. Okay, I might have something going here. I will need to hit a Lele off that Cynthia, I believe. Unless I put that Buzz Rule in range. Or Lele in range. Both of them are in range. I just have to figure out how I'm spreading these damage counters for if I do get a Lele. Because if we break through here, what I'm going to do is I can hit Lele. That's... if I hit Buzzwole, he's 4 turns from that. I have to hit Lele. I have to put both of them in range to where Lele can come in, counter energy. Yeah, there's enough damage here on board to where if I get a Lele, I can retreat with Tapu Koko. And win with Tapu Lele. Unfortunately, I'll be only able to get 1 game here. But it's going to come down to me getting Tapu Lele. So he's going to Tantaliza. The only way I lose this game is if he gets a max potion. Losing Shrine of Punishment is actually good for me, because now I have a better chance of using more cards in my hand. So Poison Barb, Shrine of Punishment, so that I can draw 1 card with Oranguru. That puts me at 10 cards left in my deck. Actually, 9 cards left in my deck, potentially. So the last card I ever want to see him play is a max potion. If he plays a max potion, I lose. Okay, it's going to come down to this. I need a Tapu Lele. So we're going to go Tapu Koko as my active. Why? Because I can retreat. So here we have PokéNav. Good. So no PokéNav in my top 3 cards. So I can rearrange these in any way I want. Doesn't matter to me. So we can play Shrine of Punishment. We can play Poison Barb. So now we can Oranguru for 1 card. That leaves us 9 cards left in my deck. We can Energy Loto. The main reason I'm an Energy Loto is so that I can just have another card out of my deck. Now, moment of truth, I have to Cynthia. I have to Cynthia. Yes! Okay, good. Thank goodness. We got the Lele. We got the Koko. We're going to retreat. We're going to get into Lele, and now we're going to magical swap. So now we're going to move some damage counters around. We're going to move damage counters from Naganadel to Tapu Lele to knock out Tapu Lele. And then we're going to move damage counters around to knock out the Buzzwole, and that will be the game. I got lucky on that, and the main reason I did want to try to use as many cards from my deck as possible so that I could have a higher chance of getting what I needed. I needed a counter energy. I had 2 in the deck. I needed Lele. I had 1 left. So I had okay odds. They weren't what I wanted, but it was pretty much the only way I was going to pick up a win was if I had Lele, and I needed as much damage on board as possible. And that will be the game, as we're going to pick up our last 3 prizes. As Tapu Lele comes through, I'm not sure if I have time to get another game for you guys, as this deck really requires a lot. But I believe we're 2-0 with the deck. But if you guys enjoyed this budget deck, you guys want to use it, I have the list down below in the description. Go ahead, let me know what you guys think of it. Let me know of the misplays. I know I had quite a few misplays in that second game, but I was able to manage to claw my way back and put myself in a position to where I ended up winning the game. With all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB with the Token Minorities, and I am signing out.